She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today is a day where you're going to make new choices. Choices that are going to help you get to where you want to go. Where do you want to go? You see, nothing becomes dynamic until it becomes specific. And in the great picture of success, you must define it for yourself. What does it look like, smell like? Who is there with you? If you don't decide in advance where you want to go, you're going to end up living that lackluster life that nobody else wants. I don't want you to go out and follow what our society calls success. Their definition, in my opinion, is a sham. It's a scam. It's a crock. It is not for you or for me, but it is definitely to help broaden their bank accounts and send their kids off to Cambridge and Yale and Harvard. Because they're selling us goods and services that if we buy them, then we will be successful. Such a lie. So not the truth. That if we wear those clothes, we drive those cars, live in those houses, then we will be successful. No, we will successfully carry a tremendous amount of debt that will nearly suffocate us and take the life right out of us and put us in a place where we're needing antidepressants. We end up divorced. We end up having to declare bankruptcy, all because we followed what the merchant said success looked like. I'm so proud of the guest that we're going to have here today, Kristen from Savannah, Georgia, who was one who needed to define success for her. She was a single mom, just kind of going through the motions, living every day by chance. Well, she came in contact with some training materials that she then applied, and some things changed. So if you know a single mom or you are a single mom, if you know a single mom, text her right now and have her tune in to the Dani Johnson Show so she can meet this precious young woman from Savannah, Georgia. If you are a single mom, get ready because you're about to be inspired and challenged as Kristen was able to define success for her and go after it for her and her son. So will you. Kristen Evans from Savannah, Georgia. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
Hi. So tell us, what was going on in your life prior to tapping into the website, destinyglobal.com, and First Steps to Success, the 3-day training seminar?
Well, I was living that same day, like over and over again, and doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing and watching everyone else have success and happiness while my life just kept passing me by. My finances were really out of control. My relationships were at a huge standstill. I'd gone through a divorce and I was raising my son by myself, and I was just desperate to not screw him up as much as I felt like I was.
What do you mean you felt that you were screwed up?
Well, I felt like I had just been damaged. I'd failed. I felt like everything I'd done, I just failed at. And I wasn't excellent at anything in my life. And I didn't know if I was ever meant to be. And I definitely wasn't equipped to raise a son at that time.
How old was your son at this time?
At 6. He was 6.
He was 6. So when you said that you were damaged goods, talk a little bit about that.
Well, I'd grown up. I survived some abuse. I had
What kind of abuse?
Sexual abuse growing up for years, and it was all I knew as a child. And
how old were you when you first were sexually abused?
My earliest memory, so at least kindergarten.
Wow. And what happened?
Well, I lived this life. I grew up thinking that this was normal. I was just surviving every day. And by the time I was 18 and ready to go, I ran out that door so fast, and I tried not to look back, but I had no idea where to go from there.
Right. So you were in kindergarten, so about 5, 6 years old. Was it your father? Was it a brother? A woman?
My uncle.
Your uncle. Wow. And so was your uncle around a lot?
Yeah, he actually lived in the same house as I did.
And did you tell anyone when it first happened?
I did.
And what happened? Who did you tell?
I told my grandmother, and I remember her like waiting for something amazing to happen, that I was going to be saved from it. And that day never came.
Oh my gosh. So you told your grandma, and what did she say?
That she would handle it and not to worry. And I think, it's then you start believing that your word didn't have value because nothing happened. So.
And you weren't heard.
No.
Or rescued.
Right.
Was there any other perpetrators in your life?
No, just this
him.
Sure.
Wow. No, I mean, we can't just say just him. I mean, that is horrific. Absolutely horrific. So, typically what happens when, and first of all, I'm so sorry. You know my story. I know exactly what you walk through. And there's nothing like feeling like you don't matter. You know what I mean? When the one person in your life that you go and you tell this to, and it takes so much courage for a 5-year-old to go and say, Uncle so-and-so, touched me here and he did this, and you know what I mean? And for that person to, I don't know, you kind of feel ignored when they don't do anything. So I'm so sorry that took place. So I'm curious, like, what happens typically for women that have been molested? We go of one of two ways. We become incredibly promiscuous at a very young age, or we like completely shut down and clam up and gain a lot of weight and kind of go into a self-protection mode. Which path did you take?
I took the promiscuous route.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. It's really bad. Really, really, really bad. Really. And it seems like that void just never gets filled. That it doesn't heal the problem. You know what I mean? At all. Now, did he ever have intercourse with you?
No.
Oh my gosh. Thank God. Thank God. But you found other ways to do that. As I did. So, okay. So you felt like you were damaged goods and you enter a marriage. How old were you when you got married?
I was 27.
Wow. You waited a long time.
I did. I had a lot of bad decisions to make up until.
Like what? Come on. Give me one. Give me one.
No, I think I took the route of just drug use and promiscuity, like you said.
Mm-hmm. What kind of drugs?
Anything that I could get my hands on to not have to deal with a lot of problems.
Right. Right. So obviously you end up in a marriage after abusing a lot of drugs and abusing your physical body with other people, and you end up married. And what happened in that marriage?
I had no idea how to be in a relationship. And
what did that look like? What did that look like that you didn't know how to be committed in a relationship?
I didn't understand a lot of things of how to honor someone, how to be a wife. I didn't know really how to take care of myself, let alone another person. And we ended up being roommates. It just fell apart, and I don't know if it was just another thing in my life that I felt like I failed at. And yeah.
Yeah. So by the time you get to us and you come to destinyglobal.com and find out about First Steps to Success, a 3-day business, relationship, and money seminar, you're now divorced. You have a 6-year-old son.
Yeah.
You feel like you're damaged goods. You have a bunch of debt. You don't see a path for yourself. Did you feel like you were like the only one destined to failure and everybody else in your life was successful?
I saw everyone around me as people that could do better than I could. I just felt like success maybe wasn't for me. There'd been so much negative things happened in my life that I felt like if I just went through the everyday and to survive, that, that would probably be the best thing. There wasn't even an option for me to want to thrive at that point.
So how did you hear about First Steps to Success?
Well, along the way of getting divorced, I found a business, and one of my friends started coming to First Steps a few years prior. And it was another person I kept watching people go and have success, but I couldn't go. I couldn't take the first step for some reason. to get there.
Did you think that if you went that it wouldn't work for you?
Yes, I absolutely was that person, like that. This is I'm the exception to the rule.
Yeah. You know what I find so funny? I actually have this written down on a piece of paper in my bathroom because this crazy revelation came to me about that very thought that, it's not going to work for me. It's kind of like this. It's like, okay, so we buy a recipe or we get a hold of a recipe to make a blueberry pie, right? And for someone to look at that recipe, and see the ingredients that are necessary and look at it and go, well, that's great for them, but I know it's not going to work for me. Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Really? I mean, no one would look at a recipe and say, well, this isn't going to work for me. No, it is going to work for you. If you buy the ingredients and you follow the instructions, you're going to get the same pie that the instructions lead you to get. It's really that simple. And I do find that so often. I used to be that same person, by the way, that I used to just think I was destined for failure. I was destined for unhappiness, so much so that I even believed that my kids would be better without me. My husband would be better without me, which is why I almost took my life too many times and lived in that place of suicidal thinking. But that was one of my thoughts, that everyone else can try the same thing, but if I try it, I'm just going to fail. So why even try? It makes no sense to even try when you know you're just going to fail, which is sad. So something pushed you over the edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
To actually get the courage to come. What was it?
I was pretty much broke, not seeing my son. I was paying someone else to take care of him because I was working a full-time job, and I just became sick with worry that I wouldn't be around him and I would miss out on his life. And I just knew that I needed to make a change. Like everything was at a standstill in my life. There was nothing. Nothing that was ready to change, and I just knew that I had to. And I just picked up the phone one day and called to get my ticket. And it's like I tried everything my own way, and it wasn't working. And I don't know. I kind of threw my hands up in the air and threw in the towel, and I was like, okay, I've got to do something radically different.
Yeah. And you did. And you absolutely did. And I'm so proud of you for coming to that place. So sometimes we have to come to the end of ourselves. We have to come to the end of our doubt. We have to come to the end of our negative thinking. We have to come to the end of our bad habits before we make a change. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Kristen was in a dark place when suddenly the light came on, and it might just be the light you're looking for.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you. What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Have you ever had that thought that you're damaged goods, that everybody else is going to be successful with what they try, but if you try the same thing, you will not be successful? Sometimes that very thinking creates, not sometimes, I'd say most of the time, that way of thinking creates a path of failure, a cycle of failure, that when we come to the end of it, then we've got to make some new changes. If that's where you find yourself today, get ready for this, because Kristen Evans was in the same exact place. She had felt that same way. And her life at that point, after being molested, after no one doing anything about it, after then abusing drugs and her own body, she came to the end of it all as a single mom, newly divorced, failed in a marriage, failing financially. She turned it all around with some simple little strategies. Kristen, so you came out of First Steps to Success, our 3-day training seminar, and what happened?
I ran home and just died. Like, I poured over my notes, and my boyfriend at the time, like, we took this and like, it was like a light turn on in my mind that I didn't have to be stuck anymore. We started paying down debt right away.
How much debt have you paid off?
So far, $15,000.
And how long?
12 months.
12 months. So in 1 year, you paid off $15,000 worth of debt. And then what?
Well, I've also started working with my son to be a good leader in his life. We got a hold of some more of your training materials and poured into him, like, just as much as I go and get poured into at these events.
Mm-hmm. So Grooming the Next Generation for Success, the book or the whole training program?
Yes, the whole program.
Okay. And then what happened to your finances?
Well, I ended up giving myself a raise in that business, and I went up 42% from the year before.
Wow.
Using some skills that I learned at First Steps and at Dynasty. And I started to build houses for the extreme poor, and I had never done anything like that in my entire life.
Okay, so we went from a very unpurposed single mother drowning in her own sorrow, suffocating under debt, not growing her income, workaholic, someone else is raising your son, to now increasing your income by 42%, paying off $15,000 worth of debt in a year, purposed mother who is grooming her own son for success. And I'm proud of you. I mean, that's incredible. That's a big turnaround in a year to go from a place of darkness to, as you said, that seminar helped to turn the light on for you and kind of gave you some specific strategies. Can you give me one? I mean, there's a single mom that is listening right now. She's completely hopeless. She's in darkness. She really believes that success will not happen for her. So what is one thing that you applied that she could apply right now and make a change in her life today?
One thing would be making that the using the war on debt, the strategy of like telling your money where you want it to go. I left First Steps realizing that my money was a vote for something, and I started to implement that every day. And it seemed crazy at first because I was living paycheck to paycheck. Yep. And before I know it, I was saving money. I was learning how to build wealth, and I was even donating money, which I had never done before. And it just started with a simple, like the next paycheck I got, I just said, I'm going to do this. And it wasn't I can't anymore. It was, I'm going to, because there's no other choice anymore. So with that next paycheck, what did you do? Did you make decisions on where you would no longer spend money? Were you now conscious of where your money was going for the first time in your adult life? Absolutely. It wasn't going to the coffees every day, and it wasn't going to all the entertainment and the eating out. Yep. So now you redirected all that wasteful spending that wasn't giving you what you were really looking for, success. It wasn't helping you pay off debt. All the expensive coffees and the eating out and all the entertainment wasn't doing that. It wasn't taking you out of the out from under the pressure of the debt. And so you started to look at the places where the money was being spent. You were now voting with your dollar where it really had value, which was paying off debt has high value, 18.9% value return on your dollar, because you're not going to pay that now in interest if you pay off your debt. And so right away, did that like make you feel relieved that you had a plan of action in your hands that was simple and it could work? Absolutely. Yeah. It was a huge like weight lifted off of me. And so now can you see yourself debt free? I can, in 18 months. Staying on the same exact plan that you're on right now, you'll be completely debt-free in 18 months. Yes. That's got to feel so good. That's so awesome. So there you have it. Kristen Evans from Savannah, Georgia, single mom, just living that lackluster life, who found for herself what worked for her, attended a First Steps to Success, and everything changed. So it's up to you. Will you make those same kind of choices? Choice is yours. Thanks for being here, Kristen. We appreciate you. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Stay right here for more of the Dani Johnson Show.
You want to succeed, right? But you do not want to fail God at the same time. There is a way to succeed from a biblical perspective, and it's far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Over 500 scriptures I studied to study money, everything that the Bible said about money. That's in the first couple chapters of Spirit-Driven Success. Not to mention leadership, working with people, growing a career, being used mightily in the marketplace, which is where Abraham, God used him in the marketplace. And Joseph, God used him in the marketplace. Moses, God used him in the marketplace. Daniel, Solomon, really all of the greats of faith, most of the greats of faith throughout the Bible, they all were in the marketplace, and God wants to show you how you can be used mightily by him in the marketplace. Right here, Spirit-Driven Success is where all of my notes are on how you can do that. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Spirit-Driven Success today.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Prior to getting to Dani Johnson's First Steps to Success, my husband and I were completely broke. We just filed bankruptcy. We lost our home to foreclosure, and we were on food stamps. After the second day of her event, we figured out where all our money was going. We got ourselves out of debt in 3 months. We paid off $18,000 worth of debt and are completely debt-free. And now we've finally created a life of our dreams. We've made a 6-figure business, and we're just doing everything that we want. So if you're thinking about coming to First Steps to Success, you've got to make it happen. Sign up right now and make sure you don't miss it.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was hopelessly lost in addiction. My relationships with people, coworkers, family, friends failed. I was struggling under the bondage of debt, and I had no clear vision or purpose for my life. After attending my first steps to success, I've been able to pay off $7,000 in debt in about 4.5 months. I have a clear vision and purpose for my life. I can honestly say that my addictions are a thing of the past. If you're interested in changing your life in whatever way, in whatever area, you need to log into DaniJohnson.com, and you need to be at the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to coming to First Steps, I was miserable. I never talked to people because I thought I was shy, I thought I was boring, and I thought that I was destined to be alone forever. After coming to First Steps to Success, I broke through all of those lies. I built confidence, and I used the skills that I've learned there to get myself an amazing job where I will be put quickly into a position of leadership. So if you're ready to find out who you are, why you are the way you are, and how to get new skills to dramatically change your life, you need to join me at the very next First Steps to Success. No excuses, no delays, get registered now.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Massachusetts. And before plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was buried under a sea of self-doubt, fear, and my communication skills were non-existent. Sales non-existent as well. But after attending First Steps to Success, my sales have quadrupled, my fear has been lifted, and my relationships are better than ever because I communicate better than ever. If you want your life to turn around, all your dreams start coming to fruition, you are going to be at First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging in to Dani Johnson, my husband and I were drowning in a sea of debt. I had broken relationships all around me of the ones that I cared most about, and I had started a company that was losing more money than it was making. And after plugging into Dani Johnson, we have paid off $196,000 in 13 months. My company has grown 90%, and I have relationships that I could never have even imagined with the ones I care most about around me. So I don't know about you. Maybe you're making all the money you need to. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe your relationships are phenomenal. But if they're not, I encourage you to get to the next First Steps to Success.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
You stuck in a job that you hate? Feel like you're going nowhere? Is the debt haunting you at night? Have you suffered from some personal losses that have caused you to just want to throw in the towel? That's exactly where Tim Lawless found himself from New Braunfels, Texas. Tim, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. How are you?
So good. Good to see you. Love the beard.
Thanks. I'm trying to catch up to Hans.
And or my son Roman. Yeah. Hairy beast, man. Hairy beast. Tim, that's exactly where you found yourself. First of all, thanks so much for serving our country and risking your life on the behalf of freedoms of others. But you spent 10 years in the military just feeling like you were going nowhere. Tell us a little bit about that.
I joined the Marines whenever I was 17, straight out of high school, because I was from a little nowhere town in Kentucky, and I needed a way out. And my parents always inspired me to be more than who I am and to be a good example for others. And the Marine Corps is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the best of the best, and I did that. Went through 2 deployments to Iraq. Then I was a drill instructor for 3 years, training all the new guys coming in. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to California, and that's where I ended up my tour. And I mean, I had a lot of fun, and it helped me get to where I am today.
Mm-hmm. So, but when you first heard about DestinyGlobal.com and our training seminar, First Steps to Success, you were kind of, you had suffered a major loss and you had a lot of debt and you weren't quite happy with where you were. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, ma'am. On July 3rd, 2013, I got a message that I needed to call my mom. And whenever I called her, I found out that my dad had died of a heart attack. Wow. And that really hit me hard because it's not what I expected. Yeah. Whenever I decided to call her, and just going through that really made me evaluate like what I was doing, why was I in the Marine Corps, and helped me realize that I was putting a lot of time in to something I was passionate about, but what was it going to return to me? And I actually ended up, all my relationships, I was a manipulator, and I just took advantage of people. And that was just, there wasn't any, I value your opinion, let's work this out. It was like, I told you to do this, go do it right now. Wow. Because that's how I've been trained to be a leader. That's how I was trained. Wow. And
so you're saying that being a drill sergeant in a man-woman relationship didn't work out so well?
No. I got one divorce already, so I'm not looking for another one.
So you didn't quite know how to integrate with civilians?
No, not really. When I first came to my first steps, I was still in the Marines, and it was a big eye opener because I realized a lot about me, and that I just wasn't a good person. That there was just a lot of brokenness in my heart that I needed to change in order for me to reach that next level of leadership. And that's the biggest thing I took away, and a lot of healing that helped me move on.
So were you like sacrificing the relationships with your family prior to First Step Success? I mean, because you said that you got that phone call that your dad had died and you had realized, man, I spent 10 years chasing my career and chasing my passion and not really spending much time with your family.
I kind of I had like one friend that I stuck with through like everything, and everyone else I just kind of threw to the side, And I whenever I was younger, I'd go home a lot to Kentucky because it was close by. But as I grew older, I didn't feel like, now looking back on it now, I didn't spend enough time, whether it just be a phone call or even writing a personal letter to my parents to let them know that I'm proud to be their son. And that's something I've learned now that I do with my mom a lot. So
that's awesome. So you came out of First Steps to Success, and what took place? Where because you had said, man, you kind of took a big look in the mirror that you were a manipulator, that you were, you had kind of a one-way relationship with people, and if they didn't do things your way, then take the highway. Your finances weren't quite in order. So what things did you implement right away, and what were the results?
The biggest thing that I took away from First Steps is forgiving others and forgiving myself from what I have done and what they have done to me. Yeah. And but I was horrible at time management. I would either give all my time to work in the Marines, or I'd give all my time to work in the business. Yeah. There was no in between. So the first thing I did, the first product I used was Time Secrets, because I really needed to get my priorities straight. And I set it up just like you teach in the program. And it's worked out really well, because where work's not my priority anymore. Like my first thing is like building a relationship with my God, and then now my wife, and then my mother and my friends, and then work. And people think I'm crazy because I tell them, I just left a job at a company because they weren't working with me to support me and my family the way I needed it. And I told them, I was like, hey, this is what I need, and this is what I'm willing to do. And they weren't willing to work with me. And I was like, all right, well then I'll just have to leave because my family comes first now. Yeah. So,
wow. It takes a lot of courage to do that. It really does. So were they requiring for you to work like terrible hours? I mean, a lot of hours,
I have a lot of appointments that I have to do just with the VA, and I'm also a full-time student now because I decided that I want to be a teacher at the moment, to teach high schoolers, to try to bring some respect and pride of belonging back to the school system and to this country. So grooming the next generation is my next go-to.
Wow.
Because that's a big responsibility that we have
yes.
as adults.
Yes. Man, that's awesome. What are you hoping to teach?
I want to teach history or maybe geography. I'm just now taking geography classes. But I feel like our history plays a lot in who we are. You know, we can learn what not to do from what we've done in the past or ways we can do it better.
Yep.
And it also establishes a pride of belonging. Like, we are here today because of the people that have sacrificed for us and the work that they put in, to help us get to where we are. And they need to be recognized for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And definitely school is a great place to get your hands on the next generation and teach them things like honor and respect and how to dream and to really define why they're here on earth and for them to define success for themselves instead of buckling in under the wonderful society definition of it. So you came out of First Steps to Success, and so you started to work on managing your time. You also were able to get rid of some anxiety issues and anger, of course, because unforgiveness definitely produces all kinds of anger inside of us. So what happened on the financial side?
I came out and I realized I started doing War on Debt because I wanted to make a lot of money. The reason I went to First Steps is to meet women and to make money. And it worked out pretty good for me. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, I did the War on Debt program, and I realized I was spending over $600 a month at like a little gas station getting sodas and drinks.
Wow.
And chips, like just a bunch of crap that I didn't need.
Yep.
And
$600 a month. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible, man. That's a lot of chips and soda and candy bars, man.
Yeah. And since my dad had passed away, I had to find a way to be able to help my mom pay for her bills because she wasn't working at the time.
Yeah.
And she got a job 2 weeks after my dad passed away.
Wow.
So figuring out how I can make money to help her.
Yeah.
Is like also all that money I had, I've been paying my mom's mortgage ever since then, try to help her to where she can get it manageable.
Yeah.
And for her, so she can take over the responsibilities for that. And now, I'm making more money now with me and my wife together. We've paid off over, I think, around $70,000 in debt, and we have over $20,000 in savings and investments. And right now we have about $2,000 a month that we use to pay off more debt, to save. That way we can travel the world, because that's what we're really passionate about.
That's so awesome. Man, what a good son you are. That's crazy. You're making your mom's mortgage payment. That is so incredible. Like that is exactly what you should be doing. You know what I mean? And so often children, sons especially, are not doing that. And that's so completely honorable that you've stepped in to take care of your mom after her losing her husband and you losing your father. That's incredibly admirable for sure. Okay, we got to get into the next part of the story, the girl, because you're now married. So
yes, ma'am.
You came to First Steps to make money and meet women. I love that. That's going to be our next email we sent out. Want to meet some women and make money? We're going to talk about Tim on that one. That's so awesome. You definitely met some women. There's some very beautiful women who attend those conferences for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no question. I mean, amazing. And every kind of race you could imagine, all types of different religions, all different shapes and sizes, every color hair you could imagine, like all different types of professions. Is really amazing. But when we continue back, we're going to dive into that part of that love story and how First Step Success has helped to improve even that. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Did Tim find the girl of his dreams? Or did she find him? Find out next on The Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
So I just want to give you a little bit of my story. This is my first time sharing my story on stage, so I'm a little nervous. But I'm excited. I was just asked, seriously 3 minutes ago to share my story, so we'll see how this goes. So my name, like Ray said, my name's Kristen Roundy. I am from Wyoming. Is there anyone else from Wyoming here? Yeah! I was thinking, I think I'm the only one that I've met from Wyoming. That's cool. I'm glad. So prior to plugging into Dani Johnson and First Steps to Success, my husband and I were completely drowning in debt. We got this new job and we increased our income, so we increased our way of living, which is what happens. And we were young, we were just married, and we completely bought more than we needed. We bought a new house, we already had a truck loan, we bought a new car, we lived to the max. And our marriage started to struggle, and we got to where all of our fights were about money constantly. And my husband had a really good job, so we had plenty of money. That was not the issue. It was that we never kept any of it. We spent it on stuff we didn't need. So just a little bit of background. There's just my husband and I, we have no kids, and we bought a 6-bedroom house. I know. Well, that's just, we had the money. The bank told us we had the money we could, so we did. And so obviously we spent the money to fill those rooms in that house on stuff we didn't need. So anyways, our marriage was failing. I mean, we were young, we just got married, and all of our fights were over stupid stuff that was unnecessary. And so I remember one time, just like a quick little look into what it was like. I remember one time sitting in front of our nice fireplace in our nice house, and we were fighting over how we were going to pay for Christmas for our families. And that was the eye-opener for us, that something had to change. And so we made a decision, and I started a business, and that's what actually opened me up to DaniJohnson.com and to First Steps to Success. And so after coming out of First Steps to Success, we have now been able to pay off, this is crazy, we have now been able to pay off just over $300,000. Which is completely crazy, because we just thought debt was something that you live with. You're always going to have a mortgage. You're always going to have a house payment, car payments. That's just the way life goes. And little did we know that that's not the case. So we now live in a smaller house. We love it. We actually, I have less house to clean, which I'm good with. And we live so much more simple, and our marriage is completely turned around. We no longer fight about money. We wonder where we're going to invest into next, and how soon we're going to get, the mortgage paid off, and that's exciting to us. So everything's just completely changed. And, the relationships that we've been able to grow with other people that are wondering what we're doing, that's been amazing, because we've met so many great people, and learning what Dani's going to teach this afternoon has helped us grow to being people more than anything. And that, we hated people before, both of us. We never had those skills. And so I'm really excited for this afternoon. This afternoon's going to be completely transforming to you. As far as being, like she mentioned this morning, your business is people, your business isn't your product. And so with that being said, I just want to have you help me welcome back my mentor and America's favorite millionaire, Dani Johnson.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So if you find yourself suffocating under the pressure of debt, broken relationships, a career that has been sucking the life right out of you, to a point of having no relationships, maybe just one. That's exactly where Tim Lawless found himself before he came to the website destinyglobal.com and he attended First steps to success, not once, but many times. Now, he's paid off $70,000 worth of debt, has $20,000 in savings and investments. He actually came to the seminar as one of those military guys going, I want to make more money and I want to meet some women. He was then confronted with his bad self at that event and discovered why. Why did he have all these poor relationships all around him? How did he end up in that spot? He just finished sharing with us all that information, but now I want to dig into the girl because he's married now. So, Tim, did you meet her at First Steps, or did you use the tools, the communication skills that we teach at First Steps to find her?
I just met Hillary right before my dad passed away. I'd hung out with her a couple times, and I didn't really think that me and her would go anywhere because I was gone for a month, and she was really there for me through it all. Like, just so I could talk to her and just escape from all the anxiety and the stress and like my world falling apart. So it was good to be able to talk to her and to escape it all, and it was nice to just have someone that I could talk to that really cared. And that's how I kind of knew she was different, to where she wasn't like all these other girls I was meeting.
But hold on a second.
Yeah.
But you came to First Steps to meet women and make more money, which meant you were not committed to this girl.
Right, yeah, because I'd only hung out with her twice.
Okay.
So she was just a friend.
Right.
And I came to First Steps, and I knew I really cared about her because she'd done a lot for me. And we started dating in September time, like August, September timeframe. And I came to First Steps in October. And through all the healing and all the stuff that I'd done to myself and put other people through, I was able to move past that. And I came back from First Steps, and I told her, and I was like, you know what? I love you, and I'm not afraid to tell you that anymore, because I was guarding myself from it because I didn't want to be hurt. And I told her I loved her, and I'd known it for a little while. I just didn't want to say anything. And come to find out, she loved me too, so it was pretty cool. And then so after that, I went directly to Dynasty, and I believe it was Dallas, the first one I went to. And we were doing gyms, and you said, hey, I need a Ruby male to come on the stage. And I just walked up there, and and during the interview, you asked me if I was married, and I said, no, I have a girlfriend. And you said, are you going to marry her? And I said, nope, I'm not going to do that. And like in December, right after that, the next month, I was like, hey, we should get married. I love you. You love me. Let's do this. And, we sat down and we talked about it, and we value each other a lot. So, and that's how it moved on. We got married on February 9th of 2014.
Wow.
In 3 days. This Thursday is our 3-year anniversary. So
nice. Nice. Congratulations. I remember that. I remember having you on stage. And by the way, for those who are listening, What's Creating a Dynasty? It's a 3-day advanced leadership conference that really digs deep on emotional issues and communication skills and leadership skills, because it's oftentimes the stuff that's happened to us from other leaders that cause us not to trust leaders in general, and even abuse leadership and judge people who are in leadership. And we've all seen just a lot of bad leadership out there. We really, really have. There's not been a lot of great examples out there for us to look and learn from. So Creating a Dynasty helps to get into what those issues are, as well as to pull out the leader that's in you. Everybody has leadership in them, and it's to bring that to the forefront and to teach very specific communication skills that show you how to lead in such a way that you're not leading by demand or force or fear, but that you're leading people with freedom. Like you're leading them in such a way that they want to follow you. They want to be a part of what it is that you're doing. And it obviously worked because a month after Dynasty, he's proposing to a girl, and then 2 months later he's married to her, which is pretty awesome. Really, really awesome. I remember you coming to the next event after that and saying that you had gotten married, and the whole place came unglued.
Yeah, that was in Cincinnati. Yeah, it was the First Steps in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I remember that. Everyone was so excited for you. So, which is so incredible, because talk to us about some of the people that you have met there at First Steps to Success in Creating a Dynasty.
Oh man, just the environment, like you said, just going to the leadership part. I got there, and remember Stacey O'Quinn giving his testimonial, and I was like, that's me. I'm that guy. You know, I'm in the
because he was
military.
also
I don't know
military.
what's going
Yep.
on.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I immediately went up and talked to him, and just the way, you know, he carries himself. He's very professional, and he doesn't demand respect. He earns it. And he always tells us that, you know, he says, and he's got this line when he's giving his testimonial, and he says, I don't do this to impress you. I do this to impress upon you.
Yep.
And when he's telling a story, and I'm like, man, that's what you need. You know, it's not about me. It's about everyone else. And, you know, for meeting Raven, who's like one of my best friends here, and I'm super excited to be in Texas because she gets to come up here and we go tubing and stuff like that. You know, we get to hang out. Just a load of people, you know, Linda and her husband, you know, they've been extremely supportive, you know, and we developed a good relationship because she came and she was not a single mom, but a stay-at-home mom. And that helped me really evaluate where I was valuing myself. You know, Kevin and Melissa, and then just a lot of others I can't think of right now. I mean, you know, my personal friends, Jay Green and Jeff, his brother. Then my best friend, Adam, that me and him go to events together all the time. So it's good to be able to have that support system because it really is a community at these events. Like you see people, and it's not those relationships where you have to try to beat around the bush. It's like, hey, it feels like you never skipped a beat, you know, like you hadn't seen each other for however long it's been, you know, and you can really pick up. And if you ever have a hard time, it's good because you have true friends that really care about you. You know, and they don't benefit from you doing well because we don't know anything about what each other does. We know like our jobs, but we don't know what specific business we're in, if we're in a home-based business or anything. And they just truly care about you and seeing you become successful and helping you heal. Yeah,
they're not there to recruit you into something. They're not there to make you their customer of something because everyone signs an ethics agreement at the event, and people are not allowed to recruit business at that event. And so therefore, there's just kind of a sanctity of relationship there. That it's kind of a protected place where everyone will just, you know, if they're going to engage in relationship, is because they actually care about that person. They want to get to know that person. And you're right. There's something powerful with community because we all fall down. You know what I mean? We all fall off the wagon and we go through hard crap. I mean, everybody does. And so, unfortunately, I don't know about anybody listening, but I have definitely found some fair weather friends in my life, and some of which are family members. You know, they can't wait for you to fall so they can stab you in the back. Or if you do succeed, they're jealous of you, or they only want to borrow money from you. Like they don't want a relationship with you. They want a relationship with your money or your prominence or your position. And that's just the opposite of the community with Destiny Global. Like everyone at First Steps in creating a dynasty, and many of them on Facebook they just love each other. They're rooting for each other. They're egging each other on. And if somebody falls in the dumps, they're like, come on. They're like they're the lifeline pulling you out of the pit that you may have found yourself in. Tim, thanks so much for sharing your story. We appreciate you. God bless you. And thanks for joining us today. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Don't go away. The next segment might just change your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Put the Dani Johnson Show to work for you by advertising your product or service. The Dani Johnson Show has tens of thousands of listeners who are just like you. People who need what you're offering but just don't know it yet. Savvy business owners and marketing directors advertise on The Dani Johnson Show. To promote your products and services on The Dani Johnson Show, email john@danijohnson.com or call 866-760-8255.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Are you in that situation where you feel like you have fair weather friends around you, that you feel like there's not people that are really in your corner? Friend, I'm telling you, I know you hear about first steps to success all the time, but you will meet some genuine, sincere people who are not looking to get into your pocketbook, people that are not looking to use you for their gain and to manipulate you for their wonder. Because of the way that we have the entire event set up, first of all, we all signed an ethics agreement saying that no one is going to be recruiting anybody. We're not recruiting any kind of business from each other, so that the businesses, whatever business it is that we're there representing, that thing is laid down on the side. But it's about relationship and community. Why? If you're going to succeed, it's going to take a team, and it's going to take people that will encourage you when you're down and encourage you when you're up. People that, with their own stories, to inspire you to greater places. People who've already gone before you and paid off debt. You know, the last first steps to success that we came out of, we hit a new record high of testimony of debt being paid off. 152 people who had come forward to share that they had paid off, accumulated between 152 people, paid off $30 million worth of debt. $30 million worth of debt. It's actually $30.1 million worth of debt. 30.1. So it was 31 million. It was 30,900,000 and some odd whatever. So that's a tremendous amount of debt that was paid off. That was a team of people who collaborated with each other, who encouraged each other, who inspired each other. So you're not alone when you come out to a first steps to success. And honestly, the first place to start, if this is your very first time joining us on the Dani Johnson Show, where we help you define success for you, where we help you with solutions to problems that you maybe haven't even been able to identify yet. If this is your first time, we want to give you a book of solutions. A book of solutions for the debt, how to annihilate all of it in 5 to 7 years, including your mortgage. A book of solutions on how to bring healing to toxic relationships, even harmony to stressful relationships. How to bring great production at work without striving and pushing, but instead finding that flow. I'd like to give you this book. It's free. First Steps to Wealth. If you call right now, 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. One more time, because I messed it up that time. 866-760-8255. Ask for Nellie or Nate or even Joseph. All of them are in your corner. They want to see you pay off that debt. They want to help you improve your relationships at work and at home and have more peace and enjoyment and harmony in your life. And they're willing to get this to you. You pay the shipping to get it to your house, and I will go ahead and pay for the book, okay? So it's a $15 book. You cover the shipping and handling. We got the book. We're going to send it all over to you. And then I want you to be dog-earing pages and highlighting pages and, showing that you're actually doing the things that it's telling you to do, and you're not going to recognize your life after you finish applying the stuff in that book. God bless you. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been the Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.